The biggest question a lot of people get asked is, what would you do to get a reward? If it's money, a house, a car, how much are you willing to put on the line and sacrifice to get something like that? But before we get into the story, I do want to say I am at the Insomnia UK Gaming Festival in Birmingham. I know, pray for me. Between the 8th and 10th of August. And because I'm generous, if you click on the link down in the description, you can be entered into a giveaway to get 2 free weekend tickets and also an exclusive piece of merch. This little cap here looks so good. It looks so good. It really does hide my hairline very well. Now, there are loads of game shows out there where people have to like publicly embarrass themselves, but in the Twitch world, I think we've hit an all-time high. So there's a streamer out there at the minute called Irby, and what he is a professional in is doing these kind of challenge streams.
Whoa, man.
Now, usually, these didn't get too much traction, but the most recent event that he's done with one of his Twitch mods, it's pretty wild. So Irby offered one of his Twitch moderators called Kusta the challenge of staying in a pitch black closet for 3 days. And what would his reward be for complete sensory deprivation? A 2005 Chevrolet car. So what Irby did is he set cameras in the closet to basically film his moderator to make sure he wasn't cheating, and also, more importantly, for content.
European Post Office, European Post Office, European Post Office.
It really does go to show that streamers will do absolutely anything and everything except getting a job. So that doesn't really sound so bad. I mean, 3 days in a closet. Obviously, he's got food. He has water. You can see bottles of water in the screenshot. It's not like he was being deprived of anything important that would keep someone alive. Guess how long he lasted? 1 day. Just 1 day, and then he basically gave up and quit. Now, the thing is, I know everyone's going to point and laugh and say, Lamau, look, the Twitch mod couldn't commit to anything apart from, like, being a power jockey. He only lasted 1 day. Point and laugh. But the thing is, I'll be honest, I made videos on lots of people, and usually I'm quite antagonistic. But in this situation, I completely sympathize with him. So what Twitch viewers of the stream were able to do was to send bits to influence any kind of outcome. Now, this is a very common thing. I mean, a couple months ago, you had a game show done by Sam Hyde called Fish Tank, and people could donate money for certain kinds of outcomes. For example, I think one of the highest tiers you could do is having someone's entire bed or mattress taken away, just completely punishing them for our entertainment. So what the Twitch viewers were able to do was to send bits over to the stream, but they weren't all negative outcomes, just most of them. There were some positive ones as well. So what it basically did was give Twitch viewers a kind of moral compass, which I'm going to say, by the way, by a bunch of faceless, anonymous people online, is probably the worst thing that can happen. So for 25 bits, you could do a flashbang, which I assume would release some kind of white light or something, maybe some kind of strobe light, just anything to wake him up from, you know, the little bit of respite he was getting from suffering inside someone's closet. And then for 50 bits, you can get a TTS message, which is pretty standard. We all know how TTS messages work. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of streamers that do this kind of like, you know, trying to sleep challenge where they sleep while they're streaming and then they just get bombarded with TTS messages because it's suffering. Unfortunately, it is kind of entertainment.
I don't want to do this anymore. It's not worth any amount of money. It really isn't.
And then for 100 bits, you could play a random sound. I'm not sure what the sound effects were. Maybe it would be the Chevrolet car that he was promised, like crashing into a brick wall. For 250 bits, you could shoot a Nerf gun at him, which, I'll be honest, just sounds really cruel. Like, he's in a closet, completely blocked off. There is no natural light whatsoever. He's just got bottles of water in a dark, empty room. That probably smells because, like, it is the actual Twitch streamer's closet. So I imagine if someone donated that amount, the door would be open. He would actually see a little bit of sunlight. He'd think, oh my God, like freedom. And then he just gets shot in the face with a Nerf dart. And then the jail cell gets closed again. Now, like I said, there were some positive outcomes. Like, for example, for 500 bits, you could feed Kusta a random treat. I'm not really sure what he'd be fed. Maybe like some kind of Scooby snack or something. Because that's not a meal, it's a treat. So maybe they just give him like one of those chocolate digestives or something. I'd like to imagine the only treat they give him is just like packets of snus or something. The same thing that PewDiePie would take while he was streaming.
What monster doesn't put through the leg hole?
And then for 1,000 bits, which is just cruel. This is just cruel and inhumane. It would be a water cannon. Now, I'm not sure on the specifics of the water cannon, if it was just some kind of like pump up charge action water gun, or he gets some kind of like jet propelled water hose, like from his back garden or something, and just sprays the guy, probably damaging all of his clothes and treating him more like he's some kind of protester or something. But then the peak donation, 2,500 bits, would be able to get Irby, the Twitch streamer doing the event, to drive to get Costa some fast food. Now, the one thing I like about the donations, which is very, very sneaky, is how the top donation, the biggest one, is actually like the only beneficial reward, because the only positive thing here apart from that is he gets a Scooby snack or a snus. I just like how we've reached the point where we're basically locking people inside of closets, depriving them of like, you know, natural sunlight. And it's like, you know what? I'll get you a Chipotle. I'll get you a DoorDash if I get 2,500 bits on my stream, an amount of money that you probably will never see. Also, I do want to say, just for like conversion's sake, one Twitch bit is actually equal to $0.01. So 100 bits is $1. So 2,500 bits, which is the biggest donation to go and get this guy some food, some sustenance to keep him alive, that would be $25. Now, like I said earlier, Twitch chat is a faceless entity, mostly just little Zoomer toddler children. But what do you think happened when they are given complete and total control? The guy just got memed on. He got harassed constantly through chat, like this clip here, where he's being sprayed with TTS messages, flashbangs, and the water cannon constantly.
The guy who's literally 33 years old. Just remember, if you leave now, you get the I'm gated too. We're all rooting for you, dude, and we love you. 9 hours left. That coping my ding dong.
One thing that made that clip absolutely perfect as well is the fact that you've just got an annoying orange clip playing in the corner. Like, that is actual water torture. If you don't know how water torture works, it's basically when they get someone and they just keep dropping like droplets of water on their head, and the repetitive motion of the water hitting their head just sends them completely insane. So usually within like 5 to 10 minutes, they spill all the beans. This is like the Twitch version of that. Now, before the loyal pyro audience of like 10-year-old children runs over to try and cancel this guy for like harassing his Twitch mod, I do want to say he did say on Twitter in the replies that he fully consented to this. He wasn't like hogtied like Red Dead Redemption and then like put in the back room. He consented to it completely and fully, and he even suggested the flashbang idea. Now, Twitter being the cesspit website it is, they obviously had problems with this because they have problems with anything. Like, everyone has to be a contrarian. And a lot of people pointed out that, you know, he lost the challenge, he gave up, but why didn't you give him the car anyway? Despite the fact that he didn't beat the challenge, like he lost, but he should still get the full reward anyway. And then you even had other people pointing out saying, why didn't he get a better car? Yeah, why didn't he get a Tesla? I don't understand. Like Model X? Why didn't he get the Cybertruck? Like, come on, man. That's so cringe. The thing is, you got to keep in mind this Irby guy, like he is a pretty small streamer. He's not exactly getting like XQC money where he just sits playing slots all day. Like, he doesn't make as much income as bigger streamers, but obviously everyone makes that comparison when they hear like some streamer getting like huge sponsor deals. They think that then applies to every single streamer, which just isn't the case at all. Like, just for comparison, when I stream on YouTube, I'll get anywhere between like 5 to 8,000 viewers on a really, really, really good day. If not, it'll probably just be about 3,000. This guy gets like 10 to 30 viewers per stream. So you can just see the comparison there, that like it isn't comparable at all. Now, thankfully, there is a positive outcome to this story, because even though he did fumble the bag, he gave up after one day. He didn't last all 3. Irby was still nice enough to give him a reward. And that was a Honda Civic, not the car, a Honda Civic Hot Wheels with only minor body damage. Now, I do want to say Irby is not the only streamer to do these kind of like Mr. Breast kind of challenges where they just subject someone to borderline torture in return for views and profit. There was another streamer, for example, Erob, who smashed his setup after failing a Super Smash Brothers challenge. So as part of this challenge that Erob did, he had to win 4 games in a row, but he wasn't allowed to play as certain characters. So this guy, poor guy, for nearly 10 hours straight, he was sticking with like this sword fighting character called Lucina or Lucina. I'm going to butcher it and someone's going to come for me in the comment section. I really don't care. Now, he did get some wins here and there, some dubs, some fat W's, but, you know, doing 4 games in a row, it really did get to him, resulting in the challenge like going really, really late into the night. So eventually he had enough. He decided to call it quits. He was like, you know what? I kneel. I understand that I'm at a loss here. And then he quietly exited the game, uninstalled Smash from his Nintendo Switch that people pay way too much money for. And then afterwards, this guy completely let loose, throwing his controller against the room while it was still plugged in. And after quite a loud bang, the stream's camera went black, and then the stream ended. To be fair, though, that is a Smash player, so it's a pretty common occurrence. I'm just happy that this closet situation ended. It ended well. I mean, he got a Hot Wheels. It's not exactly like a Chevrolet car, but, you know, you take what you can get. At least he didn't, like, die in the closet or something, which is, I'll be honest, seeming it's Twitch, I wouldn't be surprised.